Day 210 of Hey, What Are You Doing Today? Just some interesting, realization maybe is the word. A couple different things that I was thinking about today is one, as I've grown, as I've changed over the course of this journey, the world around me has changed. The world, and the thought crossed my mind. Each of us as individuals kind of have our own world. As my cog, my little component of the world is the things that are in my specific vicinity. You know, the things that I do on an everyday basis. I mean, I live in a big city, but my world is really just one little speck of that city, which is one little speck of that state, which is one speck of that country, that world, so on and so forth. And so I guess it's only natural that as I change, my world will change. As my perspective changes, the world around me changes. I had two interesting observations today. One, it's kind of a misty, just not raining, but just misty, just one of those days. A little chill in the air. November, and as I was walking around this public location, I noticed that the way I was carrying myself was different than it had been before. My head was higher. I had a smile was naturally on my face. It wasn't something that I was telling myself to do. It was just emanating from the inner feeling that I had, and a smile was radiating out, and I was just very in control of myself and the world around me. As I observed different situations. Just for an example, I held a door open for an older gentleman that was walking with a cane, obviously having some issues. And as I'm holding that door, he comes through, and then a lady on the opposite side of the door, coming from the other direction, kind of, as if she didn't care about this gentleman, kind of forced her way through. And that's something that would have upset me. I would have looked at that as, it still kind of did upset me, but it wasn't the same. It wasn't, it was something that I could see myself outgrowing. But it went through my mind that it wasn't a judgment thing on this lady anymore. It wasn't that she was doing something wrong or callous or unthoughtful. It was the thought that crossed through my head that she just hadn't learned that difference. She didn't have that inner seat, that poise. There was something missing there. There was something that she needed to overcome, and I recognize myself in that. I recognize that there's still a lot of things that I need to overcome, and I recognize that the humanity of the whole situation, and it didn't affect me the same way. And I walked out the door, and just a different perspective. So, but that's something that as I sense myself growing, as I sense myself changing, as I sense myself being more mindful, as I sense myself being more in control, I guess how to put it into words, but there's a difference in the feeling. There's a difference in the way the world looks, the way the world affects me. And there's a change that's coming, and I can sense it. It's progress being made. There's an obvious difference in how I'm living my life, and how the world around me affects me, and how I let it affect me. The other thing that brought that into perspective today, I got into work, and a series of things that are kind of outside of my control in some regards, things that I don't agree with, occurred. And they would have been things that 210 days ago I would have internalized, I would have thought about, I would have let all that negative energy, all that dislike for the situation build inside of me, and it wouldn't affect anything else, except for me, and it would have ruined my day. It would have totally, that I know how I was before, and it's still there. I still sense it. It's still something that I can't just completely step away from. But I know that it's that I'm getting to that point as I work on it. But just to note that it didn't. It's something that I can overlook. And now also when I see that, it's not me concentrating on the wrongfulness of the situation. It's not me concentrating on feeling slighted. It's none of that. It's me asking myself, what can I do to change it? What can I do? I seem to get frustrated when things are outside of my control, or at least if I perceive them as being outside of my control. If they're incorrect and outside of my control, that affects me on a personal level. And here, all of a sudden, now I was thinking, how can I act to change this? Instead of reacting, instead of running to a person and that has done something wrong to me and kind of pushing them back, and then creating that whole friction that obviously benefits no one. All it does is create that negative energy. How can I react to eliminate the friction and to change the way things are, to bring that element to me? What can I do to gain control of the situation without being, here's the other trick to it, without being dishonest to myself or artificial in some way? How can I change my perspective? How can I change the way that perhaps I treat this person that will change the way they treat me? Just get a little bit more specific with the example. If someone is slighting me for whatever reason, they dislike me and they have some control over a situation, so instead of going to me, they go to someone else. How can I change that so that they won't slight me anymore, so that they will come to me first? That's really where my control is in the situation. It's not butting heads with that person. It's getting on the same plane with that person. But then again, the trick is, how do I do it without being artificial to myself, without sacrificing my values and my sense of who I am? What I mean by that is, how do you do it without being fake and artificially building someone up with false, I guess for lack of a better term, butt kissing, kissing of the ass. How can I do it without kissing someone's ass? And that's fine to build someone up. I don't want to make light of that. I think it's one thing that I've learned is it's good to encourage other people, and through that encouraging of other people, I can be encouraged. Encouragement will come back to me. I recognize that. I haven't utilized that. I haven't put that into practice as of yet. But it's one of the things that I picked up, and I want to start using and start seeing how the world reflects when I do that. However, how can it be done in an honest and true way, versus the other aspect of it, and just there's a sense of self-sacrifice that I'm not willing to risk in order to create that false level, that false plane. I would rather work on strengthening a relationship in a true and honest and secure way, versus building a relationship on something fragile. You can't build a foundation on a stack of toothpicks. But I guess that's it. I just want to talk about that. Just showing those gentle signs of progress, arriving at a better contentment in my life, and knowing that I'm going somewhere, knowing that I'm getting somewhere, and actively seeking and actively doing that and actively going somewhere. And it's such a powerful thing. So that's day 210. Hey, what are you doing today? Thanks.